Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. The topic for today's discussion is an introduction into hair porosity, so stay tuned. Hair porosity speaks to how well moisture, hair products, water is able to enter as well as leave the hair cuticles. The hair cuticles are the outermost aspect of the hair strand. Okay. So pretend that my hands are the hair cuticles. If the hair cuticles are tightly closed together like this, that means it's going to be very difficult for moisture to enter and leave the hair strands. And this is what is seen in low hair porosity. Now once again, pretend my hands represent the hair cuticle. If the hair cuticle has a lot of gaps and spaces, like you're seeing here, that means water, moisture, whatever it may be, can easily enter as well as leave the hair strands. And this is known as high hair porosity. And lastly, there's a wide range of hair porosities between high hair porosity and low hair porosity. And this is known as either medium or normal hair porosity. This means that the cuticles aren't too closed and the cuticles aren't too loose. And persons who have medium or normal hair porosity really don't have much of a difficult time when it comes to maintaining their hair, because they're not losing moisture too easily and they're not absorbing moisture too rapidly. Even though it is true that our hair porosity may be highly dependent on our genetic makeup, it is also true that our hair porosity could be impacted based on how healthy our hair is. Meaning, if our hair is undergoing damage, whether due to heat, whether due to chemicals, whether due to environmental hazards, this could actually result in you developing high hair porosity. And to make things a little bit more complicated, different sections of our hair can actually have different hair porosities. So if you have low porosity hair, meaning that the cuticles are so close together, you may actually realize that your hair takes very, very long to air dry, right? And you may also realize that when it comes to relaxing your hair, it takes actually a longer while, or a much longer while than most other persons, for the product to actually absorb into the roots of your hair. So you may have to have on your relaxer for a longer period of time. If you have high porosity hair, however, you may notice that your hair dries very, very easily, very, very rapidly. And you may also find that it's not very difficult for the products or your relaxer to actually be absorbed into your hair roots. And that is really because your hair, as I said before, is going to lose moisture just as easily as it gains moisture. And that is why persons with high hair porosity, when they go out into humid environments, their hair tends to get a little bit frizzy. Now there is a very simple test known as the float test that can be done to determine your hair's porosity. I must say, however, this test is not 100% accurate. You would have to first wash your hair and then take any loose strands of your hair before applying the conditioner. Then place these strands in a transparent container of water. If the strands sink to the bottom, this suggests that your hair is of high porosity. If the strands float at the top, this suggests low porosity. And if the strands are somewhere in between sinking and floating, this suggests middle, medium, or normal porosity. So why is it important to know your hair porosity? Because it actually helps us to know how to take care of our hair, what products to buy, how long to keep the products on our hair, how to dry our hair. It really sets the basis for our hair care. For example, if your hair is of high hair porosity, you should actually try to avoid heat as much as possible. And if you have to use heat, then at least make sure that you use a heat protectant on your hair. Why is that? Because as I said before, heat can actually cause your cuticles to become even further apart. Also, you want to avoid putting harsh chemicals in your hair. You want to try to avoid environmental hazards as much as possible. Persons with high porosity hair may also benefit from the use of leave-in conditioners. Why? Because it allows that moisture to stay within the hair for as long as possible. And very importantly, if your hair is of high hair porosity, you have to ensure that you moisturize it frequently. And there are many different options that can be used. You could use your moisturizers, once again your leave-in conditioner, your oils, your hair butter, and that is really to ensure that your hair retains as much moisture as it can. On the other hand, if your hair is of low hair porosity, you want to avoid frequent use of protein-based deep conditioners. Try not to use these protein-based deep conditioners more than once per month. Why is that? Remember, with low hair porosities, it's very difficult for products to enter the hair. and therefore when you use these protein-based conditioners so often, what happens is that the protein is just going to start to build up on the outer aspect of the hair. It's going to just build up on it, and it's going to cause stiffening of the hair and breakage of the hair. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. And also, because persons with low porosity hair have a difficult time when it comes to moisture entering their hair strands, when it comes to applying your deep conditioner, you may actually have to use a little bit of heat. Unlike your high hair porosity hair, low porosity hair persons may actually have to use a little bit of heat to try to get that moisture to enter the hair. So that is just a general introduction into hair porosity, guys. So stay tuned for my next video, guys, where I'll be discussing commonly confused hair products and concepts: deep conditioning versus regular conditioning, lye versus no lye relaxers. It's gonna be really exciting, guys. Thank you so much for the support. Please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys again soon.